Hey there, I'm Christine Collins, and I have for you today a fun little story and some insights that will be very helpful for you as you are navigating setting your goals and kind of assessing how things are going in your business in terms of success. Now, in a previous video, we talked through how your belief about whether or not something is possible for you has an enormous impact on that outcome, partially due to the fact that the way that we believe about things and the way that we think about things affects our behavior. It affects our choices. It affects the willingness we have to take risks. It affects our interactions with others and our actions in every facet of our business. So that's definitely worth taking a look at if you haven't already done so. And today we're going to take a look at how we tend to place a heavy focus on the tangible exterior things that we think are going to increase our business success. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with investing in those things that are very easy for us to kind of touch and see and feel. Things like our website, our messaging, our copy, things like our images, our graphics, things like direct business coaching. All of these things are very, very valuable. But the one thing that we tend to put at the bottom of the list, or maybe don't recognize it as an actual vital tool for business success, and that is our mindset, our belief system, the thoughts we are thinking, the ways that we are believing, and the ways that we are actually viewing the entire situation, because that whole mindset system deeply affects everything else. It affects the way that we make choices in our business. It affects the way that we choose which things to prioritize in our business. It affects the way that we present ourselves in our copy. So I've said this before, but it's not enough to have clever, witty, cool copy. That's really fun and it's useful. But if the energy underlying it and the mindset that you're carrying around does not align to the belief that this copy or this content is going to do its job, is going to get you results, is going to help you connect more deeply with your niche and with your audience, then all of that witty, clever copy falls flat. And one of the things that I think some of us more heart-centered folks can get stuck on, and I know is certainly true for me, is that it's okay for us to want people to want us, to want people to buy from us, to have the desire to make sales. Sometimes I think we tend to try so hard to not come across as sleazy or salesy that in the end it can accidentally make the other person or the audience feel as though you're not really interested in them buying from you, or depending on where they're at in their mindset, they might even interpret it as that you don't want to work with them. And so there's a disconnect that's happening between you, the heart-centered visionary, wanting so hard not to come across as sleazy or salesy, and the potential audience who doesn't want to impose. They may be afraid to contact or ask questions because they've picked up on the energy that you're not trying to sell them something, or that you're not necessarily wanting them to buy, and there can be a little bit of a disconnect there. So here's my fun story that has to do with focusing solely on the tangibles, or what I'm calling the exterior of the house, instead of the interior, the mindset, and the important pieces that are related to that. So back when I was a teenager, I knew a lot of different people. I came into a lot of different interesting situations at times. And one of the people that I came across, this is someone that I was never close to, is there was a boy that I recall who happened to come from a very wealthy family, and his parents really wanted him to have friends, and they, wanted him to be cool. And they went out and bought him an entire setup for a band. And, in those days, if you're around my age, I'm just over 40, the thing that everybody in high school wanted was to be in a band. So he had all the stuff. He had guitars and drum sets and bass and amps and an entire setup, everything that you could wish for. And he did have people who would come around and they would hang out with him because it was cool and because his house had a lot of cool things too. But that didn't necessarily correlate with a genuine desire to actually be this kid's friend. Now, the happy ending to the story is that a few years later, he woke up and realized that a lot of his friends were actually just using him and that they sucked. And in the end, he made his own mindset switches and ended up in a much better situation. But the purpose of this analogy is to show you that it's not enough to have the cool swag. It's not enough to have the clever copy and the cool website and everything that we tend to be willing to buy because we think it's up-leveling our business. We also need to up-level from within. So again, just to be clear, all of those things are perfectly valid and valuable and well worth our investment. However, on their own, it's not enough. You've got to have the mindset, the underlying belief in your work, in yourself, and in your desire to work with your niche aligned clients. And importantly with that, we need to be communicating out to those niche aligned clients that we desire them and we want them to want us. We actually want them to buy from us. It's something that we are actively trying to create and facilitate, not that we're trying so hard to be careful about being salesy that we never actually share how they can work with us or share the opportunities, the price points, the sales, the special deals and offers and all the different things that we construct in our business because we're trying really hard not to sell and not to seem sleazy and salesy. So that I want you to want me is the thing that we want to be putting out energetically, that yes, I want you to be interested in my work and I am comfortable telling you about it, telling you why it's worth your while and sharing it out with you consistently in a way that you can digest it, in a way that you can comprehend it, and in a way that you can easily see the value that it has for you. So, recap, the exterior tangible things, very valid, very valuable, and very worth our time and our investment. On their own, not enough. We also need to be thinking about how our beliefs and our thoughts and the ways that those beliefs are informing our decisions and our copy, because it comes across. Whatever it is that you believe, whatever it is that you're thinking about or you're feeling, it's coming through in your content. And that energetic component is also very important. We can't ignore that underlying foundational level to all of the exterior things that we're putting out there into the world. So I hope you found this to be helpful and enlightening. Once again, I'm Christine Collins. You can check me out further at transformcreate.com. And in the meantime, I hope that you have an absolutely magical and creative rest of your day.